PTSD is going to change quite a bit, and I think that in some ways it explains why PTSD was pulled out of the anxiety disorders diagnosis. The feeling of the work groups is that PTSD is not just a sense of heightened reactivity to anxiety-producing events or to traumatic events, but it's also related to, it also involves a lot of emotional and experiences, changes in emotion and emotional numbing. And that is very different from anything you see in OCD disorders or in the anxiety disorders. And of course, the other thing is that the other unifying aspect of all these disorders is that they're related to external stressors or the pathogenic realms.
Is that going to, will like depersonalization disorder get folded into PTSD now because of the kind of emotional numbing and detachment aspects of that, or is it still separate?
I have no idea where it is. Do you know where depersonalization disorder is going? It's not in this. It's not part of this.
It's not in this.
Is it under dissociative disorder?
Oh, it probably would be.
Probably be under
Do you see 8 dissociative disorders chapter in your list?
Yeah.
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 It should
So
be
it's
there.
probably still there.
Yeah.
I just when you say due to 5 or more pathogenic realms, that includes all of the below, including
No, for
PTSD?
children.
Just for children. Okay.
But children, or with the exception of PTSD, because children can get PTSD, as you were describing earlier, for violent environments and other kinds of environments. But the reattachment disorders, the disinhibited social engagement, are thought to be due to the 5 pathogenic realms.
Okay, so for PTSD, there used to be 3 clusters: re-experiencing, avoidance and numbing, and arousal. Those were thought to be the central 3 clusters of the PTSD syndrome. And that's being broken apart just a bit. We still have re-experiencing. We still have an arousal cluster. It's changed a little. The arousal cluster is now going to include both the traditional ideas of arousal, like tachycardia, or rapid breathing, or intense startle response, but it will also include irritable and aggressive behavior, which so many of us see when we work with people with PTSD, but we don't exactly know. Now it can be part of the diagnostic process to note those. Re-experiencing is pretty much the same as well. What's different is that avoidance and numbing are now being separated into 2 categories. So there are going to be 4 clusters that are central to PTSD. Avoidance is going to look pretty much the same, but the numbing is now going to be called persistent alterations in cognition and mood. And so that will include both numbing and persistent emotional states. This is being done because it appears, for one thing, it gives sort of more respect to the very broad emotional problems and affective problems seen in people with PTSD. Things like anhedonia and detachment and negative view of the world. But also this seems to be predictive of more intense PTSD and a poor long-term prognosis. So in any case, you will see this 4th cluster that will include numbing and changes in cognitions and mood. The final change for PTSD is that the diagnostic threshold is going to be lowered for children and adolescents, and also there's going to be some separate criteria for kids 6 and younger.